Welcome back. We are at the second and final day of the Everett Performance Omnium, and this is the 50 plus men. Second day for the 50 plus. The Everett Performance Omnium had 3 days for some of the categories, like the P12 men and women, and 35 plus men. So, anyway, second day of the Omnium. I am currently sitting in second place in the Omnium, and right behind me are Kirk Canfield and Greg Lewinsky, and they are just 5 points and 10 points behind me in the Omnium. So I definitely want to keep an eye on them. Greg is like two riders in front of me right now. He's got the black and red jersey on, right in front of uh, this Liquid Velo Expediter guy, Steve. So anyway, and then I'll show you Kirk later on. Steve Hansen is leading the Omnium. He won yesterday. Pretty much gonna win any race he's in the 50 plus. So really, I am hoping to get second place in the Omnium, and I'd love to get second place in this race, or at least maybe even contest the sprint with Steve. So this is just to give you an idea of the first lap. This course is fairly flat. There's about 26 feet of elevation, and it all comes after the first turn. So when we go around again, I'll kind of point that out. It's a little bit of a rise, and then it kind of kicks up. I think maximum gradient is like 6%. Oh, by the way, there is Kirk right over there. Um, just past it. Shoot, I'll mention it again. But anyway, so here we go, and here is all of the elevation. So nothing too difficult right here. But then again, in just a second, right here, it kicks up. I think, yeah, a little bit over 6, almost 7%. So although there wasn't much climbing, this did put a little sting in the legs later in the race. And today we have a lot less racers. Yesterday we had 33, but a lot of those guys were just there for the one-day state championship portion. So we have 16 riders in this field in the 50 plus. I want to call this the race of Steves because 30% of the field has a first name of Steve. I'm throwing Steven in there because there's one Steven. So there's 5 guys, 4 Steves and a Steven in this field of 16. Got Greg in front of me again here, and there's Kirk right there. So that's Kirk. So those are the 2 guys I'm keeping my eye on from an Omnium standpoint. I think Steve Hansen is already making an attack off the front. I can see some guys going around the corner already. I'm pretty much sitting at the very back, which I'm not too concerned with, given the size of the field, but it's definitely a little farther back than I'd like to be, so I decide to scoot on up. Got Mike Rogers from 10 Speed Hero right in front of me. I think we got Steve from Taco Time there as well in front. And it's all kind of coming back together. This was a pretty fast course and pretty hard to get away. There were a lot of gaps, but through the corners, everybody was able to generally close those down, bring them back pretty quickly. Nothing was really getting away. All right, we're going to move ahead here. I decided to scoot on up to the front now and kind of keep my eye on Steve Hansen. Steve Hansen's second position up there from the front. I think that's neat. Oh, and then Fell Swoop makes an attack. Double attack. And of course, Steve follows them. And then we got Steve and Steve following Steve. So I figure I'll jump on the Steve train here. There we go. We've got 3 Steves. Actually, we've got Steven in there as well. So we've got Steven leading, then Steve from Expeditors, and then Steve Hansen right in front of me. Another fun race. All the courses were different enough and interesting enough that it kept the racing fun. Fell Swoop was doing that's just went by in the orange kit, orange and blue and black. They were very active today, trying to keep things moving, keep things going. It was pretty awesome to see. Right there on the right in the orange jersey, that was Steve Westover. We got lucky with the weather. It dried up a little by the time of our race. Earlier races, the roads were a little bit damp and there were crashes in I think 4 different races, 3 or 4 different races. Unfortunately, 2 of my teammates went down in the 60-plus race on the final lap. Ron and AC went down. Ron was leading the 60-plus Omnium. He did get up and finish the race, as did AC, and that did secure Ron the overall in the 60-plus Omnium, which was awesome. So this corner that we're coming up, this is the 5th corner, and this is where everybody was crashing. I think they were hitting that manhole cover, and also there was a little bit of grass in one of the cracks that I think was causing people to slide out. Nobody crashed in our race, so that was good. Putting in a little dig here. I don't know why, but I don't think I got any separation. So pretty sure the pack is right on me. So we got a preem lap right now, and this is for Omnium points. And I do not expect to beat Steve Hansen in that sprint, who is coming into the screen right now. But I do want to get second because they give you points for first through third. And since Kirk and Greg are fairly close behind me in the standings, I wanted to make sure I grabbed as many points as possible before the final, just in case. So Steve is already got a gap. I got Joe from Gerks right in front of me. I was hoping he'd close it down. It doesn't look like he's going to, so I scoot past a little bit. At this point, I'm not trying to catch up with Steve. I'm just trying to ensure that I get second in the sprint. There we go. So Steve got first, I got second. I do not know who got third, but mission accomplished. Got some more points for the Omnium. I think we had a little bit of a gap here, but neither one of us wanted to actually roll it. I think it was a little too early in the race. Packs back together, so I'm going to move ahead a little bit and farther in. Just kind of looking around, waiting for something to happen. So I thought Steve from Taco Time knew I was on his inside. Unfortunately, I dove that corner, and I don't think he realized that I was this close, so I apologize there. But now, we're coming back into another preem sprint for Omnium points again. Steve takes off from the gun, so I figure I'll just kind of tag along. Again, at this point, I am not able to beat him, so maybe next year. I'll keep working on it. I do think we had a pretty good gap over the field after that hill. For a second here, I thought, maybe I can beat him in the sprint. Then he took off, and I thought, I don't want to waste my energy trying to pass him. As long as I get second, I've got the points I need, so second place in the preem again. kind of in a wait and see moment here in the race. Nobody's really doing anything. There have been pretty constant attacks, and like I said, Fell Swoop, who just came by, has definitely been animating the race. If ever it gets slow, usually one of them would take off on the front. I'm gonna skip ahead. So we're down to 7 laps to go. And Nate takes off from Revolution Cycling. And man, I was hoping somebody would chase him down, because obviously Steve follows every attack. Nate has been riding super strong this year and riding super smart. I waited a little too long and I decided, okay, I'm going to try to go for it on this hill. But I should have gone earlier. At this point, kind of thought I could make it up to them, but I also didn't know how much energy I would waste getting up to them. So I had a decision, like, do I go for second in the race, thinking that I could out-sprint Nate, but I'd have to use a lot of energy to catch him? Or do I fall back and go for third place in the sprint, just the field sprint? I felt pretty confident that I could win the field sprint. Felt less confident that I could actually catch these two. So a little bit of hesitation probably cost me second place in the race, but I wanted to protect second place in the Omnium, so I let up and let them roll off in the distance, and that was the move. They do end up staying away for the entire race, the rest of the race. Somebody yelled up. I think they were just trying to get someone to do something to chase down Nate and Steve. But nobody fell for it. I think we all pretty much know we're racing for third place at this point. Got Steven from Zealous Racing taking up the chase a little bit, and Joe from Gurk's following him. But we never put together any sort of coordinated chase. It was always like one person going hard and then everybody else kind of just sitting up. And then one person would go hard again. And so yeah, we weren't rotating, and that's definitely not going to catch them. I thought maybe, there goes Kirk and Steve Westover. And again, I thought when they came by, I thought, okay, now we're going to get a chase going. But as you'll see in a second, that does not develop. I think it's at this point that they kind of just sit up and nobody rolls through. Yeah. All right. Jumping ahead. It's 3 to go? 2 to go? So now I'm keeping my eye on Greg and Kirk. I just want to make sure that hopefully I'm ahead of them in the sprint, but if not, that we're fairly close so that I don't lose too many points and I can still stay in second for the Omnium. And there goes Kirk, and I'm in a bad position. I can't jump on his wheel to follow. So gets a little bit of a gap. And I'm not panicking yet. There we are, Bell Lab. We're all back together for the field. Steve and Nate are still off the front. And then I see Steve Sondheim goes on this hill, and I know he's fast, so I figure I better get on his wheel. Luckily, he's willing to lead it all the way around this lap. So I just stick to his wheel, and I think we've got a little bit of a gap on the field. And at this point, I think Steve Hansen's probably already crossed the finish line winning, and then Nate got second place. Got too much of a gap here behind Steve, and probably should be a little closer to his wheel. Coming into the final home straight here. Cork an amazing 750-watt sprint, and I end up getting third place, and that secured second place overall. And now I'm going to show you another view from my wife.
Come on, Cork! Come on!
It was an amazing Omnium. I can't wait for next year. Here are the results for the crit, and then the podiums, and also results for the Omnium and the podium. Again, awesome event.